السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بشر لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي رب زدني علما. So I welcome you all to the class of قصص النبيين, and we are in the story of Musa عليه السلام. So we learned that he punched some person and he died. So he had to go away from Egypt and he traveled to Madian. And there he found two girls giving water to the animals. So he gave water to them and then he came and lived with his family. So الزواج, marriage. وأقام موسى عندهم. So Musa عليه السلام stayed with them. مقام ضيف كريم, a place of a noble guest. بل حل منهم محل الولد العزيز, but he took his place. حل is to replace, but he placed منهم, in them, of them, محل الولد العزيز, the place of a strong son. Is that correct? So he played the role of a son because they did not have a son. وقالت سيدة لوالدها يوما في بساطة وطهارة. The lady, or a lady, said to her father a day in basata, cleanliness, and basit is simple. Basata, simplicity. في بساطة وطهارة. Basat is simplicity. Like basit is simple, so basata is simplicity. So she said in simplicity and tahara, purific cleanliness, Ya abat ista'jirhu, inna khayra man ista'jarta al-qawiyyu al-amin. Oh my father, ista'jiru, to hire him. Inna khayra man ista'jarta, indeed the best of you, of those whom you hire, is the strong and the faithful ones, trustworthy ones. Al-qawiyyu al-aminu. Inna khayra. So Musa al-Islam is both his strong and his trustworthy. Qala al-shaykhu, the old man said, the man of the girls, وَمَا عِلْمُكَ بِقُوَّتِهِ وَأَمَانَتِهِ يَا بِنْتِي. And what is your knowledge of his strength and his trustworthiness, O my daughter? Right? How do you know? وَمَا عِلْمُكَ. What's your knowledge about it? قالت أما قوته فلأنه رفع الغطاء عن البئر وحده ولا يرفعه إلا جماعة. قالت, as for his strength, فلأنه رفع الغطاء, he lifted the well, right? The cover on the well alone. وحده. غطاء. So they used to have some cover, through which they used to cover the wells. Maybe it was made of iron, or those will be heavy. So he was the one who lifted it alone, and nobody. ولا يرفعه إلا جماعة. And nobody raises it except a group. So only a group can raise it, lift it up. وأما أمانته يا أبتي فلأنه مشى أمامي لا ينظر إلي طول الطريق. As for his trustworthiness, O my father, because he فلأنه because he مشى أمامي, he walked in front of me, مشى يمشي أمامي لا ينظر إلي, not looking at me. طول الطريق, throughout the way. طول is the length of the trip, or the way. طريق. ولا بد للأجير ولا بد للخادم أن يكون قويا أميما. لا بد, it's important for a hired person, أجير, an employee. ولا بد للخادم, and it is important for a servant, أن يكون قويا أمينا, that he should be strong and trustworthy. فإذا لم يكن قويا ضعف عن العمل. فإذا, so if he is not strong, then he will be weak in his work. ضعف. وإذا لم يكن أمينا لم تنفعنا قوته مع خيانته. And if he's not trustworthy, then his strength will not benefit us. لم تنفعنا قوته. His strength will not benefit us along with his treachery. مع خيانته. خيانة. His treachery. ووافق الكلام سيدتي هوى في قلب الشيخ ولكنه فكر في المسألة كوالد. And the ladies, the girls' statement, he agreed. So he agreed. No, the statement of the lady agreed. Hawan. I don't know what is hawa. Desire. Yeah, desire. Wafaqa. So the statement or the speech of the lady agreed with the desire or with the desire longing in the heart of the old man, right? So both of them agreed. Even the old man was thinking that we should hire him. He's very strong and all that. ولكنه فكر في المسألة كوالد, but he thought the issue like a father. وفكر في المسألة كشيخ عاقل, and he thought in the issue like a intelligent old man. Shaykh. قال الشيخ في نفسه, and the Shaykh said in himself, من ذا يكون أحق من هذا الفتى بأن يكون سحرا لي. That is من ذا الذي. This is حرف اسم إشارة, no? هذا, the real اسم إشارة ذا. Who is the one? يكون أحق من هذا. So maybe you can translate this. ذا is called something like من ذا الذي. Let me see. Just اسم إشارة. من ذا يكون أحق من هذا الفتى. Who's the one who's more, who has a more right? أحق. This is the خبر of يكون. أحق من هذا الفتى. Who is the one who has a more right than this young man? بأن يكون سهرا لي. That he become sihr is a son-in-law for me. That he should become a son-in-law for me. Maybe this yakuna is mansub because there's an un hidden. Manda an yakuna. There's an un, that's why this is mansub, because there's nothing else to make it mansub, no? So he wants to make him his son-in-law. وَأَيْنَ أَجِدُ فِي الدُّنْيَا أَفْضَلَ مِنْ هَذَا الشَّابِّ. And where will I find in the world more virtuous than this young man? أما في مدين فلم أجد أحدا أهلا لذلك. As for in Madian, I did not find anyone أهل deserving لذلك for that. أهل is family, but here it could mean deserving for that. وَلَعَلَّ اللَّهَ قَدْ سَاقَ إِلَيَّ هَذَا. Perhaps Allah drove him to me for this. إِلَيَّ هَذَا, or to me this person. هذا الفتى, this young man, ليكون لي سهرا ووزيرا, so that he can be a son-in-law for me, and wazir, a minister for me. That is an assistant for me, wazir. فقال في وقار وشفقة وحكمة. So he said in honor, waqar, right? Dignity, and shafaqa, and mercy, and hikmah, and wisdom. إني أريد أن أنكحك إحدى ابنتي. He also gave an option. He said, indeed, I want to marry you. إحدى ابنتي, one of my daughters. هاتين, of these two. على أن تأجرني, and that you work for me ثمانية حجج, 8 years. 8 years. Hijaj, this is from the Quran. 8 years. This is Surah Qasas. Inni uridu. Surah Qasas, verse 27. قال إني أريد أن أنكحك إحدى ابنتي, one of my daughters. Ibnatayya, this was like Ibnatani, correct? Two daughters, and then you make it Ibnataini, and then you add a ya, so the noon drops, it becomes Ibnatayya. It was literally Ibnataini plus ya. The noon drops in the lidafa, no? The noon drops in duals and plurals. Like Tanween, the noon drops in when it becomes mudaf. Hataini, these two, ala anta ajurani, that you serve me, serve me. Thamania, 8 years. Hijaj, 8 years. وَهَذَا هُوَ صِدَاقُكَ, and this will be your sidaq, is your mahar. This will be your sadaquk or sidaquk. This will be your mahar. Amma هذه السنوات, dowry. Amma, as for these years, الثماني فلا بد منها. As for these 8 years, then there's no escape from it. That means it's important, right? It's important that you serve me for 8 years. So there'll be a. So he was very smart. He was very smart. Right? So 8 years he'll be serving for. So stay with us and serve us for 8 years. Fine, atmam ta'ashran famin indik. But again, he gave another option that if you finish 10 years, then it's from you. Right? I mean, if you want to do 10 years, then you have a choice. وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَنْ أَشُقَّ عَلَيْكَ. I don't want you, I don't want to make it difficult for you. أشق يشق أشق أن أشق عليك ستجدني إن شاء الله من الصالحين. You will indeed find me among the righteous ones, inshallah. Right? I'll not make it difficult for you. Okay, be 10 years. No, I'll just say 8 years. And then after that, if you want, you can have, if you want, you can stay for 10 years. Inshallah min as-salihin. خاف الشيخ أن يذهب الشاب ببنته ويبقى وحيدا. The old man feared that the young man will take his daughter and he'll remain alone. ويبقى وحيدا, he'll remain alone. ولا الشيخ أن يجرب الشاب أيضا. And the old man thought that he would جرب يجرب, test this young man also. حتى إذا اطمأن إليه ودعه, until حتى إذا اطمأن إليه, until he becomes, you know, اطمأن إليه, he becomes safe to him. وودعه ودعه, and then he can say him farewell. He can make him peaceful, content about this guy. Right? This man is a nice man, Musa alayhi salam. So if he's, so he wants him to remain in his house for 8 years. وافق موسى على ذلك. Musa alayhi salam agreed on that. وَرَأَى أَنَّ هَذَا مِنَ اللَّهِ, and he saw that this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ سَيُبَارِكُ فِي ذَلِكَ, and that Allah will bless him in that. So Musa alayhi salam, alhamdulillah, he understood that this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then Allah will bless him in this marriage. Inna Allah qad saqahu ila Madyan. Indeed, Allah has driven him to Madyan. Wa arsalahu ila shaykh, and he sent him to shaykh. Wa alqa fi qalbihi hananan wa hubban, and he threw in his heart mercy and affection, love, affection and love, hanan. فقال ذلك بيني وبينك. That is between me and you. Right? So this agreement is done. That is between me and you. But Musa Islam was also intelligent, right? He didn't say, okay, I'll do 8 years, or okay, I'll do 10 years, right? But he didn't fix anything because he knew, okay, we don't know what will happen after 5, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. Would I want to leave, or would I? We don't know the situation. So he said, whatever I do, it's between me and you. Right? I might do 8 years, I might do 10 years. Let's see. ولكن أراد موسى بحكمته وعقله. Musa intended with his wisdom and his intelligence. He didn't fix anything. Okay, I'll do 8 years and I have to leave. No. Right? He said, whatever. أن يحفظ له حق القياد. That he should يحفظ, preserve for him the right of choice. Right? Musa Islam was intelligent, and he wanted to have a choice at the end. لعله يسأم. Perhaps he might become bored. Right? He might become bored of living here. So he might want to leave in 8 years itself. Or there might be a situation which might call for him to live for 10 years. لعله يسمو سيما يسمو, he might become bored. فقال أيما الأجلين, whichever two periods قضيت I'd spend, فلا عدوان علي, there's no عدوان علي, there's no enmity towards me, right? والله على ما نقول وكيل. أيما, whichever أجلين قضيت, this is مفعول به. قضيت أيما became أيما, مفعول به مقدم, the object came first because قضيت أيما الأجلين, whichever I'll spend, I complete. فلا عدوان عليه, there's no injustice on me. والله على ما, this is verse 28. والله على ما نقول وكيل, and Allah is on what we say a witness. Okay, let's go to Mr. Okay, so he spends his 8 years or 10 years. We don't know. We don't know how many years he spent, because even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran, he directly goes to the next stage, right? And he doesn't talk about these 8 years. So we assume that he lived happily, alhamdulillah, he had children and all that, inshallah. And 8 years or 10 years, whatever. So ila Misr, to Egypt. So he's done with his 8 years or 10 years. Ila Misra, walamma qada Musa al-ajala. When Musa completed the term, Sara bi'ahlihi, he traveled with his family. So he took his family and started traveling to Egypt. وَوَدَّعَ الشَّيْخَ, and he said goodbye to the Shaykh. وَدَّعَ يُوَدِّعُ وَدَّعَهُ الشَّيْخُ وَدَعَ لَهُ. And the old man also said him farewell and did dua for him. Ala barakatillah ya waladi. On the blessing of Allah, O my son. Fi amanillah ya binti. In the protection of Allah, O my daughter. Wasafara Musa bi ahlihi. Musa traveled with his family. وَاللَّيْلُ كُلُّهُ بَرْدٌ وَظَلَامٌ. And the night was, all of it was cold and darkness. It was winter maybe. They were traveling. وَلَكِنْ أَيْنَ النَّارُ فِي الصَّحْرَاءِ. But where is the fire in the desert? Right? They would like to have some fire. وَمَاذَا يَصْنَعَانِ إِذَا لَمْ يَجِدَا نَارًا يَصْطَلِيَانِ بِهَا وَلَمْ يَجِدَا نُورًا يَهْتَدِيَانِ بِهِ. وَمَاذَا يَصْنَعَانِ, and what can they both do? Right? The husband and the wife. إِذَا لَمْ يَجِدَا, this is all dual, huh? يَجِدُ يَجِدَانِ يَجِدَا, because of lam the noon rab. When they did not find fire. يَصْطَلِيَانِ, يَصْطَلَى is to make themselves warm, I think. Yeah, make themselves warm. To warm themselves with it. وَلَمْ يَجِدَا نُورًا يَهْتَدِيَانِ, and did not find light to guide themselves with it. وَبَيْنَمَا هُمَا, and while they were in it, while they both were in it, يَسِيرَانِ, while they both were traveling, وَمُوسَى يَبْحَثُ عَنْ نَارٍ, and Musa was looking for fire. إِذْ رَأَى نَارًا, he saw a fire. Right? He saw some fire somewhere. فَقَالَ لِأَهْلِهِ, so he said to his family, umkuthu, remain in your places, right? In the tent or wherever you are. Inni anastu nara, I perceive a fire. Anasa. Anastu nara, I perceive a fire. I see a fire. لَعَلِّي آتِيكُمْ, perhaps I can bring it from you biqabas, of a qabas, burning wood. أو أجد على النار هدى, or I'll find some guidance near the fire. So qabas is a firewood, or right? In Surah Qisas, qabas, yeah, some fire. I can bring you some fire, because in those days lighting your own fire was very difficult, so you had to borrow the fire. Jadwa, in Surah Qasas, Allah uses jadwa, torch. So minha wa qabasin wajidu ala nari huda. So I can find. This is from Taha, I guess. I can find from the fire light, guidance. Wasara Musa, Sara yasiru, to travel. Musa traveled qibla an-nari, towards the fire, ala janahi shawq, on the wings of on earnestly, right? Janah shawq, earnestly, right? He was, oh, I can get some fire for my family and they'll not feel so cold, right? Longing, yeah, shawq, longingly. فَلَمَّا أَتَاهَا نُودِيَ يَا مُوسَى. So when he came to the fire, it was called Nada Yunadi, Nudia passive. It was called Ya Musa, O Musa, Inni ana Rabbuk. Indeed, I'm your Lord. Fakhla'na alayka. So remove khala yakhlau. So remove your sandals. Na'al is sandal. Innaka, indeed you are bilwad al muqaddasi tuwa. Indeed you are in sacred valley of Tuwa. Hunalika kallam Allahu Musa. There Allah spoke to Musa. Wa uha ilayhi, and inspired to him. Wa nakhtartuka, and I've chosen you. So Musa Islam was spoken to by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I have chosen you. Ikhtara yakhtaru, ikhtartu. The alif drops. Ikhtara yakhtaru, ikhtartuka. From it, istami', then listen, lima yuha, of what is inspired. Awha, yuhi, and the passive is yuha. Form 4, awha yuhi. Innani ana Allahu, la ilaha illa ana. Indeed, I am Allah, la ilaha illa ana. There is no God worthy of worship except me. Fa'abudni, so worship me. Wa aqimis salata, and establish the prayer. Lidhikri, for my remembrance. Inna sa'ata atiyah. Indeed, the hour will come. Day of judgment will come. Wa kana fi yadi Musa asan, and in the hand of Musa alayhi salam was a stick. Kana yahmiluha, he used to carry it. Wa yasta'inu biha, and take help with it. Qala Allah ta'ala, Allah said to him, Wa ma tilka bi yaminika ya Musa, and what is in your right hand, O Musa alayhi salam. Wa ajaba Musa fi basatatin wa thadhajatin. Musa replied with simplicity and thadhaja. I don't know what is thadhaja. Credulity, naivety, gullibility, innocence. Yeah. Simplicity and innocence. Thadhaja, innocence. Hiya asaya. It is my stick. Asaya. Hiya asaya. وأخذ موسى يعد فوائد هذه العصا. And Musa started counting the benefits of this stick. Right? So he thought he could have just said, "This is my stick," but he started counting all the benefits. Musa alayhi salam, هذه العصا of the stick, في تفصيل, in detail, لأنه أراد أن يكلم الله. That's because he wanted to speak to Allah. ويكون حديثه طويلا, and that his speech should be long. هي عصاي أتوكأ عليها وأهش بها على غنمي ولي فيها مآرب أخرى. He said, هي عصاي, it is my stick. أتوكأ عليها, I take rest. Tawakka, I lean on it. Right? أتوكأ عليها وأهش, and هش يهش على غنمي, on my sheep. I tend to my flock with those sticks. I tend to my flock with the ghanam, with the sheep. وَلِيَ فِيهَا, and I have other uses. مَآرِبُ أُخْرَى, I have other uses for it. مَآرِب. قَالَ أَلْقِهَا يَا مُوسَى. So Allah said, throw it, Ya Musa. فَأَلْقَاهَا فَإِذَا هِيَ حَيَّةٌ تَسْعَى. So he threw it, and suddenly, this Ida is called Ida of surprise. So behold, there was a snake, tas'a, moving. Sa'a is to strive. But here it could mean moving, or snakes, how do they do? قَالَ خُذْهَا وَلَا تَخَفْ. So Allah said, take it and don't fear. سَنُعِيدُهَا سِيرَتَهَا, we will return its seerah. Sirah, it's form. Here it means form. Sirah also means the Sirah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Siratah al-ula, it's form to its previous ones. Khudha wala takhaf. Don't fear. Will return to its previous state. Wa muniha Musa, and Musa was granted. Manaha is to grant, this is passive. Muniha Musa ayatan thaniyatan. Musa alayhi salam was granted a second ayah. Hiya al-yadul bayda'u. It is the white hand. فقال وَضْمُمْ يَدَكَ إِلَى جَنَاحِكَ وَضْمُمْ يَدَكَ إِلَى جَنَاحِكَ تخرج بيضاء. It'll come out white. غير سوء, without any blemish, without any disease. Ayatun ukhra, another sign for you. It'll come without any disease. Ayatun ukhra. Wadmum is draw near. Dhamma is to draw near. Dhamma yadum. Wadmum yadaka ila janahik. Janahik is your side. تخرج بيضاء من غير سوء. Ayatan ukhra. Another sign. So Musa alayhi salam spoke to Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke to Musa, and he gave him two signs. And he said, "Idhhab ila Fir'auna innahu tagha." Go to Fir'aun. Indeed, he has transgressed. Last chapter, inshallah. وَأَمَرَ اللَّهُ today. That's for today. وَأَمَرَ اللَّهُ مُوسَى بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ كُلِّهِ أَنْ يَشْرَعَ عَمَلَهُ الَّذِي خَلَقَهُ لِأَجْلِهِ. And Musa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded Musa alayhi salam after that, كُلِّهِ أَنْ يَشْرَعَ عَمَلَهُ, that is, start his work. الَّذِي خَلَقَهُ لِأَجْلِهِ, that he was created for it, that he created him for it. Well, لِأَجْلِهِ, for that reason. إِنَّ فِرْعَوْنَ عَلَى فِي الْأَرْضِ. Indeed, Fir'aun was ala fil ard. He was superior in the land. Inna Fir'aun, ala is he became high in the land. Inna Fir'auna afsada fil ard. Indeed, Fir'aun corrupted in the land, spread corruption in the land. Inna qawma Fir'auna kafaru billah. Indeed, the people of Fir'aun rejected, kafaru, they did kufr with Allah. Inna qawma Fir'auna afsadu fil ardillah. And indeed, the people of Fir'aun, they spread corruption in the land of Allah. Inna Allah la yarda li'ibadihi al-kufra. Inna Allah la yuhibbu al-fasada fil ard. Indeed, Allah is not pleased for his slaves. Al-kufr, rejection, kufr. Inna Allah la yuhibbu al-fasada. Indeed, Allah does not love corruption in the land. فَأَرَادَ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَذْهَبَ مُوسَى إِلَى فِرْعَوْنَ وَقَوْمِهِ. So Allah intended that he sends Musa to Fir'aun and his people. إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا قَوْمًا فَاسِقِينَ. Indeed, they were a transgressing people. لكن كيف يذهب موسى إلى فرعون? But how can Musa go to Fir'aun عليه السلام? وكيف يواجه الجبار? And how can he face the Jabbar, the arrogant, the tyrant? وهو الذي قتل القبطية بالأمس. And he was the one who killed the Copt in yesterday. وما أمس ببعيد. And yesterday is not far away. Just few years back, 8 years or 10 years back, he killed the Copt, right? By punching him. So, and yesterday is not far away. They might bring it up and arrest him. وهو الذي خرج من مصر خائفا يترقب. And he is the one who left from Egypt fearing and looking, right? Waiting. وَيَعْرِفُهُ الشُّرْطَةُ وَيَعْرِفُ أَهْلُ الْقَصْرِ. And the security guys know him, and the people of the palace know him. قَالَ رَبِّ إِنِّي قَتَلْتُ مِنْهُمْ نَفْسًا فَأَخَافُ أَنْ يَقْتُلُونَ. So Musa said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, "Oh my Lord, indeed I fear, I killed from them a soul. فَأَخَافُ أَنْ يَقْتُلُونَ. So I fear that they will kill me. يَقْتُلُونِي. There's a ya, right, which is dropped, and many times it's dropped. يَقْتُلُون. This kasra tells us there's a ya there. يَقْتُلُونِي, that they will kill me. وَذَكَرَ مُوسَى أَنَّ فِي لِسَانِهِ حُبْسَةً. And Musa mentioned that in his tongue there's hubs. There is something which stops him. Right? There's impediment in his speech. وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ يَعْرِفُ ذَلِكَ. But Allah knew that. كُلَّهُ, everything. ويريد أن يذهب موسى رغم ذلك كله. And he wanted to send Musa despite all of that. وَإِذْ نَادَى رَبُّكَ مُوسَى أَنِ ائْتِ الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ. And when his Lord called to Musa عليه السلام that he should come to the oppressive people, قَوْمَ فِرْعَوْنَ أَلَا يَتَّقُونَ, the people of Fir'aun, shouldn't they fear? قَالَ رَبِّ إِنِّي أَخَافُ أَنْ يُكَذِّبُونَ. He said, oh my Lord, I fear that they will reject me. كَذَّبَ يُكَذِّبُ وَيَضِيقُ صَدْرِي, and my heart is become narrow. وَلَا يَنْطَلِقُ لِسَانِي, and I'm not, and my tongue is not, intalaqa is to travel, but here it means, this is from Surah Shu'ara, وَلَا يَنْطَلِقُ لِسَانِي, verse 13. Express well my tongue. So the translator as, my tongue is not able to express, my tongue is not fluent in talaqa. But literally, intalaqa is to go, intaliq is to set out, go ahead. وَلَا يَنْطَلِقُ لِسَانِي فَأَرْسِلْ إِلَىٰ هَارُونَ. So send to me Harun. So help me with Harun alayhi salam. وَلَهُمْ عَلَيَّ ذَنْبٌ فَأَخَافُ أَنْ يَقْتُلُونَ. And they have a sin on me. That means I have a sin on them. Correct? That means I kill one person, right? فَأَخَافُ أَنْ يَقْتُلُونَ. So I fear that they will kill me. يَقْتُلُونِي. قَالَ كَلَّا. Never. Allah said never. فَذْهَبَا. So you both go بِآيَاتِنَا, with my signs. Inna ma'akum. Indeed, we are with you. Mustami'un, listening. فَأْتِيَا فِرْعَوْنَ. So the boat came to Fir'aun. So Musa came back to Egypt, met with his brother Harun, and they both were sent to Fir'aun. فَأْتِيَا فِرْعَوْنَ. So they both came to Fir'aun. فَقُولَا. And they both said, Inna Rasulu Rabbil Alameen. Indeed, we are the messengers of the Lord of the worlds. And arsil ma'ana Bani Israel. That you send with us Bani Israel, the people of Israel, the children of Israel. وَأَوْصَى اللَّهُ مُوسَى وَهَارُونَ بِاللِّينِ وَالرِّفْقِ مَعَ فِرْعَوْنَ. And Allah commanded Musa and Harun with lean, softness and kindness with Fir'aun. Right? Even with Fir'aun, you have to speak softly and kindly. Inna Allah yuhibbu rifqa ma'a a'da'ihi ila hadd. Indeed, Allah loves kindness with his enemies, even to an extent. Ila haddin faqal. So he said, Allah said, فَقُولَا لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا. So say to them, so both of you say to them, قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا, a soft speech. لَعَلَّهُ يَتَذَكَّرُ, perhaps he may remember. أَوْ يَخْشَى, or fear. Perhaps he may remember or fear. Right, inshallah. Amama Fir'aun. We'll leave this here, inshallah, and come back after Ramadan, inshallah ta'ala, where we go back and read from what happened when they gave da'wah to Fir'aun, right? Musa alayhi salam and Harun. Okay. Jazakallahu khairan, barakallahu feekum. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.